Before we begin today's show, today we want to give a big shout out to
Buzz TV. Buzz TV brings you their own spin on Android devices like the Nvidia Shield and the Amazon Fire Sticks, taking software to the next level with their own app helping you stream anything, anywhere. Buzz TV listens to you, the customers, and consistently brings you the latest and greatest when it comes to hardware, software, customer service, and experience right out of the box.
And to find their products, guys, make sure you guys do go to buzztvglobal.com.
Don't forget to click the link in the description below to get yourself the latest Android device right from Buzz TV. With all that being said, let's start the show.
And welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Streams. Today we have a very special guest. Next level, I don't know about you, but I'm very, very excited about this one, man. It's if you guys don't know, if you guys are watching the video, you guys already know. If you guys are listening to the audio, we do have eljefe reviews. And if you don't know what eljefe means, I gotta say it right. I can't say the white version, the whitest version accent. But eljefe means the boss. So eljefe, if you want to go ahead and give us a little intro, who you are, so that way the people get a feel of who you are.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So yeah, just my name is Jeff, known as eljefe or eljefe reviews. Been on YouTube for a few years doing product reviews, mostly doing audio, headphones, earbuds, things of that nature. And yeah, man, I mean, that's pretty much it. Just been on there, social media, Facebook, Instagram, mostly Twitter, hanging out there and doing, Discord, all that stuff, man. So just trying to be a community-based channel and just being friends, being part of the YouTube community, being part of the tech community in general as well. So we do, I do cell phones and stuff as well. So we get into other kinds of tech as well. So
that's what it's about. How long have you been doing YouTube or creating content, or did you first start on YouTube, or were you on another social media platform, or?
No, I mean, as far as YouTube was, well, initially I had started doing reviews on Amazon, like written reviews, but it wasn't really getting anything. Like I wasn't getting any engagement, nothing like that. Mm-hmm. So, I had already had the idea to start the YouTube channel like years ago, like 2014, but I didn't really have the guts to do it until 2017. And when I figured out that you didn't need to have a bunch of fancy equipment, right. That's when I kind of realized, you know what, I can do this. So I started off with a cell phone in May 2017. So it's been like 3.5 years-ish, right around 3.5 years. Yeah.
Nice. Now, before your YouTube venture, what were you doing before?
Well, I mean, it was just working. I mean, I still work a full-time job, but at the time when I started the channel, it was still my previous job because I just switched jobs this summer. I was doing copier maintenance and repair. So I was working for office copier companies, so like big office copiers and stuff.
Like
so I was taking care
of and the big Xeroxes.
Yeah.
And stuff, right?
Yeah. So I was taking care of that stuff, doing maintenance, doing repair. Before that I was doing automotive. Getting into the copier stuff was kind of a trip because I was doing automotive for years. And like troubleshooting, electrical troubleshooting, mechanical repair. And then I always built like computers and PCs on the side and stuff, it was just a hobby thing. But doing the copiers was kind of like melding those two skill sets. So it was kind of funny how that worked out, but I'm not doing that anymore. I ended up switching that job in the middle of the summertime. So
yeah, cool. So why? So I know with your YouTube, we've been watching you and following some of your stuff, and I gotta say I love how you break down what you do on your reviews. What sparked that idea to get into like headphones and cell phones for your YouTube channel?
Mostly, I mean, with audio stuff, it's something that I was already kind of doing anyway. Like, all I need is an excuse to like sit down and listen to headphones for hours, like to listen to music or watch videos or whatever. So it's always given me the best experience. Like some people, like there's audiophiles that are really big on speakers. There's guys who are car audio guys, home theater guys, stuff like that. For me, headphones give me the best experience by far. So it was something that I was already kind of into. So I started kind of leaning into it, and I was more passionate about it. And so when I started doing videos about it, I think that passion came across. So those videos always did better than any other videos on my channel. So then finally I said, you know what, I'm gonna dedicate, like 10 videos straight of this and see how it goes.
Right.
And that was a nice turning point. So
And I guess that's what they mean, that you really need to focus on a niche.
yeah.
And then when you focus on it, you can see if it works for you. And if it does, it'll work for you and with you, and watch it grow as you grow in your channel and stuff like that. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
You know, when you say that you want to sit down and listen to headphones for hours, you're just looking for an excuse. Is that just for, music, or do you do it for gaming or watching home entertainment stuff, or
Oh yeah, anything really.
Anything.
Yeah, because it's all part of the testing process for me anyway. Like trying to find a specific type of sound, something that I like, and something that sounds better than the last thing. And but yeah, so it's all, kind of all encompassing, because I'll game, with headphones and do PC gaming and stuff, and I'll watch movies. Like most of my content, like if I'm watching content, like if I'm gonna binge watch a show or movies, I'm gonna have headphones on. Depending on what I'm watching, it'll be a different set of headphones. So that's just kind of how I roll, and all I need is an excuse to do it. So, like at any given time, I'm like, even right now, I'm testing, I'd say four different sets. Like I think I got 2 earbuds and 2 headphones that I'm testing right now. So, I'll be doing a little bit more of that later on.
what does a testing period look like for you? I know for myself, if I was testing 4 things at the same time, I'd probably be disorganized and all flustered. Like, do you have a notepad and a scoring chart as you go through? And
Yeah, no, I literally, I just like, I write like actual physical notes, like on everything that I'm trying out and stuff. So like that's how I kind of keep track of it. Like, when I'm watching movies, I'll be taking notes. Like, this sounded good when there was a car crash. It sounded like this, or when there was rain falling, I could hear the detail, whatever it is. So I'll kind of just be taking notes to kind of remind myself when I actually do the review how it performed in certain instances. But that's usually how it goes. I mean, I'm kind of slowing down right now because we're in the middle of packing and moving and all that stuff. But yeah, that's usually how it goes as far as reviewing stuff. I try to spend a minimum of a week with something. Like if you see me drop a video the day that something arrives, it'll just be like initial impressions. Like, here's what it looks like, and here's what I'm initially thinking if it's something hot. But normally I try to give it at least a week with like headphones or earbuds, and then I'll keep going even further. Normally it's anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks before I'll actually do a normal review. Because you also want to give like headphones time to sort of break in. So, yeah.
I know. So we're all learning who we are here, and I know a lot of our viewers, they know us already. So just to give you a little bit of introduction of what we do. The way I started my YouTube channel was pure streaming, pure movies, TV shows. That's all it was. I would sometimes mess with the headphones, and for me, I would love my home sound system, my whole theater. I'm sure you've heard of Sonos speakers. Yeah, I love those speakers. So that's kind of how I started my YouTube channel, and then I know with YouTube they like certain things and they dislike certain things. So being that like the third-party APKs or apps to get, like, how they call it, the jailbroken Fire Sticks and stuff. So, we were kind of skating on that fine line where it was like borderline yes or no, we're not really sure. And so in Next Level, he was doing the exact same thing. I started to jump off of that and to do more general tech. So I know you could probably see in the background, I got one of the headsets back there from Turtle Beach.
Oh, nice.
So I'm starting to now get into general tech, and Next Level is starting to slowly do the same thing. But with all that, one of the things I know that we've experienced sometimes is when we do even sometimes with products, we'll do a product review, app review, whatever it is, and YouTube's like, I don't like this. You're not going to be fully monetized with that, the green button. you're going to get the yellow button. Or sometimes they might say like, oh, this is a community strike, community guidelines, and we're going to strike you down. Have you ever experienced or had to do anything with that?
Not often. The only times it's happened is where it was early on, before I really kind of got more experience. I like using background music, or when I would test a speaker, I would play different music. And it was before I got with a music licensing program. But I would find just songs on like YouTube channels, like, oh yeah, feel free, copyright free, use it, yada yada yada. Yeah, fun fact, most of that stuff is not copyright free. And it's kind of a game that's being played, and it sucks. And I try to tell like new and upcoming people, like, yo, don't do that. Oh, they said it's free. Listen to me. Here's what's going to happen. 6 months down the line, they're going to hit you with a claim, and they're not going to strike your video, but they're going to take your revenue.
Yeah.
And they do this all the time. They have whole channels dedicated to doing this stuff. Could you imagine if you had beats that sounded fire, and then 100,000 people put it on their videos, and then you use the AI algorithm to claim all of that revenue from you don't got to do anything. So it's a major problem. So it's one of those things where I tell people don't do that. But that's how it happened to me. Except one time they claimed it. I was like, all right. So I muted it, and I was like, all right, whatever. The second time it was like a trap version of the iPhone ringtone. And it got literally like, it was essentially like a strike or like a warning. So essentially, but they blocked the video. So I actually had to redo the video. Like I had to re-edit it with that test section using a different song. But when that happened, that was the day where I was like, all right, that's it. I'm paying for licensed music at this point. So I never have to deal with this again. But that's sort of where it happened for me. Beyond that, it normally doesn't happen to me because I don't, because of what I do. It doesn't really lend to that. But I can see how that can happen, especially with I know more than a few channels that were doing the Fire Stick stuff, that were doing the Android TV box stuff, that they catch a lot of flack, and like they have a hard time. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Squiffy.
Yep.
Yeah.
We know Doc
Yeah.
Script.
Yeah. So that's one of the ones that I would talk to, and he was going through it. So
Fun fact, I'm not sure if you know, but he got his monetization back on his channel now.
oh, good for him, man.
So we talk to him quite frequently. There's a couple in the community that we actually know, like Free Tech and TDUK, and TDUK actually did an interview with us last week. We released it. Fire TV Sticks was last week as well. We have New Tech Evolution coming out, or just came out. I think it just came out.
Yeah.
So we've been around the streaming community for a while. So there, and it's so common in our community to see channels grow really quickly and then disappear.
Yeah.
And then grow really quickly again and then disappear. So we're trying to waver away from that path, become more general tech, because we're not just APKs and Fire Sticks. Like, we enjoy and we're passionate about other things in tech, just like you were when you first got started. You're like, well, I'm just gonna, I like headphones, but I like this stuff too. What do I want to run with? You know what I mean? So you kind of have to test the water, see what works for you, and run with it.
Yeah. Now you can use it as a stone, you know what I mean, like a stepping stone, because I'll tell that to a lot of people. Like, micronation really can help, but it can become tedious in a sense, especially if you don't love what it is that you're doing. Because if you're going to do, where I've done something like, I've done a run of like 40 earbuds in a row, 40 videos in a row of like just earbuds. So, but you have to love it, because otherwise that's what's going to pull you through.
Yeah.
So, and if you're not into it, then it's going to come across in your videos. But what I mean by like using it as a stepping stone is you can use like whatever this micro niche is to grow. And then when you get enough of a hardcore audience, so let's say you got 30,000 subs, that there's going to be this solid like 500 to 1,000 that's going to show up for every video. So even if it's a video that is not going to do anything on your channel, like it's a freaking vacuum cleaner or something, but there's that 1,000 that's going to show up because it's you start getting that audience, that hardcore audience built up, then you can start kind of spreading out your stuff. You can start talking about different things, a vlog if you want to, whatever, because at that point you've earned it. You've earned enough people who are here for you, and not just the topic that you're talking about. So
yeah, that's kind of what I had. I grew my whole YouTube channel to 100,000, just doing Cody related stuff, just streaming third-party apps, like how to find it free.
Yeah.
And YouTube started to really crack down on a lot of people. And before I even, I didn't give YouTube the chance to crack down on me
Yeah.
as hard as others, because people just lost their channels like straight out. So I was like, screw it, let me just switch my content to like Android boxes. Let me just start doing something like that. And my viewership started to decline. And I was like, well, I saw people saying like, oh, I got demonetized or strikes or whatever for Android boxes. And I was like, man, so I'm like, let me just start doing something different, like something free tech. And it's funny how you just said like a vacuum cleaner, because I actually dropped a video last week
Yeah.
on a robot vacuum cleaner. And it's crazy. It's so crazy how it is now, because it feels like I'm literally starting all over again. And I do have my hardcore fans they'll come in and watch every video.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I'll be like, hey, we're starting a podcast. Cool. They all show up. Hey, I'm starting a new YouTube channel. Okay, cool. They all showed up. But just re-educating everybody all over again. I feel you. It's kind of like, it's a little bit deflating, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
where you're so used to getting like for me back then, if I was to do any of those videos, 100,000 views, like no problem at all. Now doing with this, like I'm like, cool, I got 500 views.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a big difference, man, because it kind of sucks, because it's like they changed the rules around on us. So, what worked before and now it doesn't work, which really sucks, because now, you've got 100,000 subs and God knows how many millions of views behind of data that YouTube knows you for this topic, but now you're not doing this topic, so it doesn't know who to send your videos to. And it's like, well, I can't do that stuff because you guys aren't letting me do that stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So it's like now you got the boot on your neck. So it's like you have to pivot either way. But it just takes time, and that's the thing, is like you kind of gotta pull through it, because I know a lot of channels that I've worked with that have done pivots where they've gotten either tired or whatever that type of content was, they need to get away from it, where they have to like be at a stalemate or losing subs for like a year or more before they start building up momentum on their new topic, and then it starts working. Like I knew a channel that got up to 33K and then had to pivot, and I think she lost something like 7,000 subscribers over a year, and then the next year she started finally picking back up. Now she's like over 40 and still climbing. But she had to spend a year like of just basically grinding and getting nothing in return. But eventually YouTube started recognizing what she was doing now, and it started showing it to the right audience, and it started working. But it's rough, man. That pivot stuff is, dude, it's tough, man.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's crazy, because once in a while, Rojas will drop a video from his previous niche, and then he'll get comments like, "Oh, you're back," and he's like, "I never left.
Yeah, I've been here this whole time.
Still here.
Like y'all just ain't clicking. That's the problem. What are you doing?"
No, for sure.
So tell us a little bit about your transition from, I guess, starting your YouTube channel and reviewing. Like, what did you do? Did you just start reviewing products that you had around your home, or how did you start acquiring new products to review to kind of expand, I guess, your horizons when it came to putting different headphones on your head, or getting different phones in your hand, or different tech to play with? Like, how did that journey go for you?
Well, at first, because people say like, "Oh, YouTube's expensive that first year." I'm that dude that was already buying this stuff. Like I was already buying. Like it was already happening. So it wasn't like it was costing me. The channel wasn't costing me any additional money that I wasn't already going to spend.
Right.
So that's kind of how it worked out. But for a lot of people, I tell them like, "Hey, you're gonna have to spend money," because they'll hit me up like, "Oh, how do I get these companies send me money?" You need more videos on your channel.
Yeah.
So, but that's basically what I was doing. Like if I needed a new light, cool, got it. I wanted a new power bank, bought it, review it. I wanted some new earbuds, got them. I needed some new USB cables, whatever it was. Like literally every week, it's like I was probably getting I was getting a lot of packages back then of just me buying stuff. So I was just all day with my Prime membership, just free shipping on everything. I was ordering everything. And that's really how it started. So I was like, anything that kind of came in that was tech related, whatever it was, and I would review it. And then I started noticing that when I would do like headphones, when I would do earbuds, it would do better. And then I think I was like 400, 500 subscribers, something like that. I was maybe 3 months in, 4 months in. I can't remember what it was. I was like 300 subs, I think, where an Anchor PR person had reached out to me.
Wow.
And it was like, because I was part of like their forum community and stuff like that. And they're like, hey, are you interested in testing out this product, like beta testing, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, it was like a long time ago, 2017. And I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead and send it out. So I got early access to like a set of earbuds. So then I asked him, I was like, hey, is it okay? I have a YouTube channel. Can I post up a video on my YouTube? They're like, oh yeah, go for it. So I put up the video, and that was like my first video to hit like 15,000 views, and like it did it in like a week. I was like, whoa, I'm blowing up, right? So and that's once I saw that, then I started doubling down. Like, okay, so earbuds are working, headphones are working. Let me start doing more of that. So and then as far as like, that was just getting product. And then cell phones, I didn't really touch on much cell phone action until I forgot what phone I had got. I don't know if it was when Jonathan Morrison had given me an iPhone. That might have been one of the first. I'd have to look. That might have been one of the first cell phone videos that I had done.
Right.
Yeah, I think that might have been the one, because he gave it to me, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do a video on this. And once I did that, after that, I did some case videos, and I was showing people how I was using my phone to like make videos and stuff. And then that was right before Google had reached out about the Team Pixel stuff, and they shot me the 3A. And then, did the videos on that. So ever since then, I've been, getting offers for other phones, which is like, all right, cool. I'm with it. So
just a quick PSA, nothing comes without work.
Yeah.
So even if you only have 200, 300, 400 subscribers on YouTube, if you're putting in the work, because you said you were active on a lot of forums, and companies notice these things. If you're not active and willing to put in the work, if you're not willing to review what you have, use what you have, because I've heard you, since we've been talking, you use what you have. When I first got started, I was using my cell phone. I was just doing screen recordings. Yeah. And eventually I upgraded the microphone on my cell phone, I added in a Rode mic to my cell phone. And then from there, I upped my recording. I started actually doing editing. And I just kept going. Every time I got, a little bit comfortable with the level that I was at, I wanted to get to the next one, you know what I mean? Yeah. And just keep pushing myself, like, okay, I know how to do this now. What can I do with this? Can I take this to another step? Or, how do I reach a bigger audience? Like, what do I have to do with this product? Can I do something different with this item that I have that maybe the average person doesn't know? And you have to put in that work to get to where you want to be. You can't just sit back and think Google's going to reach out to me, or Anchor's going to reach out to me, or, these companies are looking for people that are going to really test their products out and give their products not necessarily a good name, but, really give them a run for their money and give them good, solid feedback.
Yeah, some do. Some don't respond well to that stuff. But, it is what it is. But you have to build up a portfolio. That was like one of the things that somebody had told me initially, like early on, because I remember reaching out to a bunch of creators, and only like one or two had responded to me about how to get products and stuff. And they were like, well, you need to make more videos, because if you approach a company and then they come back to your channel and all they see is, 8, 9, 10 videos, and you're not even getting like that many average views, there's no return on investment. So you really need to kind of put your head down, knock out like 40, 50 videos, and then come back and see kind of where things lie. Then you can really start approaching channels, because if they see that you're consistently uploading, like whether it's every week or twice a week, whatever it is, you got to put in the work. You have to earn it. And that's something that I try to stress to creators when they hit me up, especially like brand new creators. They'll hit me up because I make myself accessible for people to ask questions. And it's always, oh, can you give me the email address to your contact at no. I'm not going to do that, because why would I do that? Like, it's not me trying to be messed up. It's that, first of all, I don't want to burn the contact. Secondly, you need to earn it. You need to earn it. You have to put in work. You got one video out, now you think you deserve all this. No. You got to really put in that work. You got to spend the time, grind it out, and prove that you're actually about making these videos, or doing your blogs, or being in the forums, or whatever it is. Yeah.
I agree. I've had we've had a really weird 2020 year so far. And back in, I would say, I think it was like in April, Next Level and I started to jump on each other's shows a lot and really help each other out. And we built this really cool dynamic. And he already had his YouTube channel going. I've already had my YouTube channel going. And we started to get just random people like, hey, can you help me out with my channel? And it's just like, well, what are you doing? And they're like, well, I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, I can't create it for you.
Yeah.
Find a niche, whatever you like, and then run with it. And it's kind of like what you said. Like, we're not trying to be, jerks about it, but we've had people also approach us saying, can I jump on your live show with you guys and talk to you guys and maybe like people can find me and stuff. And I'm just like, dude, you got like 5 videos on your YouTube channel. Like,
Yeah.
you need to have some stuff in there, because if you come here and, I don't think there's anybody out there that will say, well, I'm an expert at, like headphones or streaming or whatever. It's like, no, it's like we grab this stuff, we test it out, and then we tell you what we think about it. We tell you if it's good, if it's not. And if you trust us and like it, then you'll probably check it out yourselves. Some people were just saying like, like, oh, well, I'm really good at this. It's like, cool. So where's the videos? Where's the content? Where's the stuff so people can say, hey, we hear you say you're great, but where's the stuff to back it up? Because as of right now, it's just, me taking your word for it,
Yeah. Yeah, they got to put in the work, man. There's a lot of people looking for a cheat code. What I do now for my work, I have to manage a lot of expectations of newer YouTubers, and people are always looking for some way that they can cheat the work, like a way to, whether they want to, they want to buy subscribers, they want to buy views. Some of them have gone out and bought channels, like bought an entire channel. It never works. And it's one of those things where people are always looking for a way, or they think that a shout out's going to get them, to 1 million subs. And it's one of those things where I have to really tell people, like, listen, you have to earn it, and it's going to take time. The first few years can be tough,
100%.
but it's worth it, because I'm just, one of the things I tell people is, like, I've been doing this for a few years, right? Not as long as some other ones, but the first year was really tough, and I was really hard on myself. And but here's the thing, I'm just glad I started it. I'm glad I stuck with it, because the opportunities that have come from having started this channel have been incredible. The people that I've met, the contacts that I've made, and then not even now, the career path that I'm on now. And the fact that my channel earns money, having a dual income, and being able to provide a better life for my family. There's so much that's come from it that it's absolutely worth all the sleepless nights and all the time that I spent grinding it out. It's worth it. And that's what I try to tell people, and it feels a lot better, because, I earned it. There was no nonsense to it. There's no cheating to it. It was just pure getting in there, making the videos, uploading, rinse and repeat over and over and over, 250 plus times. So
Is that how many videos you have in your channel now over the past 3 years? About 250?
it's like close to 300, but I have like, I'd say something like 50 or 60 unlisted at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think I started about 3 or 4 years ago, but I've never been as consistent as you are in your channel. And that's obviously why you're growing a lot more, and your videos are getting a lot more views than what I do. I love when I look at your channel, even from the video screen, how organized all the thumbnails are. Like, you can see you don't just put in the work. And you see, that's the thing. A lot of people think that they can just drop a video for dropping a video. There's so much more that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to SEO and thumbnails and titles and playlists and all that kind of stuff. It's when you see a channel that's done right, it pops.
Yeah.
And people are going to click on those things. They're going to view those things. They're going to be attracted to people that are putting in that kind of work. So, I mean, it's at the end of the day, that was my PSA. If you don't do the work, you're not going to get the return on it. That's just how things go. Things don't just magically fall in your lap. I wanted to ask you, did you ever have, a good or a bad experience in regards to headphones or headsets that kind of stuck out in your mind or through your journey as being a content creator?
It's mostly good, but no, there's definitely been bad times. Like, I haven't had to do a negative review in a while, because at this point I have to be very strategic about the videos that I make, because of how much time I have. production wise. I don't have that much time to make videos. So I try to make sure that when I make one, it's something that deserves the amount of time that I put into a video. But yeah, like a year ago, even more than that, I would take the time to make, a negative video, in a sense. Negative, not like I'm trashing a product, but as in I'll make an entire review telling somebody not to buy something. So it's not outside the realm of possibility, but it's something that I'm still willing to do if there's something that bad. But yeah, I mean, for me, the one that stuck out the most obviously was the whole situation with Bluetooth and their headphones, because I was getting, when I started finding their products, I started realizing that there was a lot of search volume for their products worldwide. There was a lot of worldwide search volume. So like Brazil, Asia, Europe. And so I was like, okay, there's a lot of traffic here, so I might as well just start, diving in and seeing what's up. And I like them. Like when I first got into them, is when they were still doing really good, like quote unquote, really good for like 2015, 2016, 2017. So for the price, you were getting a pretty good headphone. But what sucks is I got there right at the end of it, and subsequent videos, they started kind of going downhill. And people started noticing, it's like, oh man, you're really trashing on their products, video after video. And I'm like, well, they're putting out crappier products. Like their first speakers that I had, amazing. The first headphones that I had were awesome. Their very first headphones that they had put out, like their high end stuff, was like $150, $200, $300. Those headphones were legit. Like they were badass. But it's like they built up this name and then they just reduced the quality and expected people to just buy it because of the name, which people were, but they were getting burned. So what ended up happening is like they were doing this generation of headphones. They called them turbine, and they went from like 1, 2, 3, 4. When I first got into them, it was on the 4th generation, still good. They did a 5th. Fifth, I was just like, what is this? Like even the thumbnail, I was like that was my face in the thumbnail. And like they did the 6th one, and I was kind of like, all right, it's a redesign, it's cool. Then they came out with the 7th one, and the 7th one was just a sheer money grab. Like it was literally like, it was actually worse than the previous version. They added a bunch of gimmicky features, but it wasn't good. So when I went through the whole review, told people like, you shouldn't buy this. If you're going to spend this much money, here are 7 other options. Yeah. And that was that 7th. What's up?
Pretty much anything but this.
Yeah. Well, at that point, when I did that 7th version, I had already basically stopped reviewing their stuff at that point. So they had another headphone that come out. I think it was I forgot what it was, but me and Travis, my buddy Travis MCP, we did a collab video on it because we both had troubles with it. Like we both received them on the same day. We both had quality control issues. And then he happened to have flown in to town for work. So I was like, yo, let's collab up and let's do this video. So we did in his hotel. And so we made that video. And so basically at that point, I was like, all right, I'm done with this company. I'm not going to be reviewing any more of their products. I'm not, because up to that point, I had paid for every single one of those. I bought all of those products. They never sent me anything. Right. And then finally, enough people, like once they came out with a new one, I was like, I'm not buying that. Hella people wanted me to review it. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So then they started emailing the company. And I guess enough people emailed them that they reached out to me like, hey, we've got a ton of requests for you to check out our newest headphone. Where should we ship it? And I was like,
you don't even have a choice at this point.
And I was like, you know what? All right, send it over. If you're this confident to where you're going to send it to me, here's the thing though. I think that they were under the impression that if they sent it to me, it meant automatic good review, automatic commercial for their product. And that's not the case. That's not how I do things. And I'm like, if they would have took just a few minutes to actually look at my channel and look at my content, they would have seen that I had provided pretty balanced reviews on their stuff, some good, some bad, but I kept it fair. And so then I made my video. They were like, literally was within 18 hours of me releasing that video, I got this nasty email from them. And then that's when I was like, I was in a group, I was in a mastermind group with a bunch of other creators, and I shared it with them. And I was like, what do you guys think? Like, I'm going to react to this. And they were like, you should like call them out. So that's what I did. I made that call out video, and then I didn't expect that to go anywhere, like at all. Like I was like, all right, I'm just going to do my piece. I'm going to say I'm never touching their stuff again, and I'm going to keep it moving to the next video. And then, dude, the amount of people, like the whole, like the tech community, from like small channels to big channels. Like there was people that was like one of the first times like Kevin the Tech Ninja and like Front Page Tech and like all these channels were like in my comment section. I was like, what the heck? And then on Twitter it was blowing up, and I was like, what is going on? And then like John Morrison, they started retweeting it out, and like all the really like Team Crispy, like all the big guys, and I was like, what the heck? So it was pretty wild, man. And then they had to like, at first they were just whatever about it, but then once they saw how wide it went, then they released some like BS public apology. I was already done. Like once I made the video and I was at that point I was already done. Like I was like, what? I don't care if you apologize publicly. I'm not messing with your stuff. So
I mean, I watched that video when you released it, and I was like, did they really do cheap shots like that? Like that was like they made comments about the size of a YouTube channel, viewerships, all kinds of stuff, when this is all going to come back to haunt them. Like they should know that. This is their brand recognition. They have to talk like a brand. Like us as content creators, even though we put out videos on YouTube, we represent a brand, right?
Yeah.
El Jefe is a brand, Rohas is a brand, Next Level is a brand. We're all a brand, and we have to represent ourselves in a certain way. We understand that. They should have as well. Like that was all.
Yeah, no, they messed up, man. And that's the thing where I try to tell people where they had it addressed as this person, this Tina person. I don't think she actually existed. I don't think, even if she was the one who initially contacted me, the person who responded had to be one of the owners, because who would take my video that personally to where they would level a personal attack against me and my subscribers, and somebody took it personally, and then they fired this employee. And no, they didn't fire anybody. They didn't do any of that. It was basically them just trying to CYA. They were emailing me this apology, and I'm just like, whatever, dude. Like, we're done. I'm not. What do you think is gonna happen if you apologize? I'm gonna go back and say, yeah, your product's great. Nah, man.
The funny part is you didn't even want to do the review in the first place.
That's the thing, and that's what I told people. And I'm like, I was already done when they approached me. So, and I didn't. They literally. It's like they shot themselves in the foot, really. And then they doubled down on it by insulting me. Well, really, not so much insulting me, but so much as insulting my audience. Because had they just said something to me like, yeah, you suck as a reviewer, blah, 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 I'd have been like, all right, whatever. I wouldn't even have sweated it. I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. But as soon as they started going after the fans and the subscribers, that's when I was like, oh, now you done messed up. Yeah. That's what you're not going to do. So
the craziest thing is that you really did give them a chance. Like, who's going to review 7 generations of a product that's deteriorating year over year or generation over generation? Like, you really tried. You held on, spending your own hard-earned cash buying their products, and then you said, I'm done. And then they, like, you were a long time, I don't want to say a fan, but a customer of theirs.
Yeah. No, and I was legit doing that. And even then, I had even reached out to them. Like, I was reaching out to them like around the 4th or 5th generation. I was reaching out like, hey, yo, can I get some product samples? Like, I was reaching out. Oh, yeah, we'll get back to you. Nothing. They were just ghosting me. So I was just like, yeah, dude, it was a wild situation. I'm glad it's done. They're still doing products and making products and stuff. From people who've told me who've tried them, they still suck. So, but it is what it is, because for me, they can keep sucking. It's all good, because we got so much other good stuff now in the market in 2020 that it's just like, why even mess with this stuff? Like, there's so much good. I can get you stuff at any price, whatever your budget is. If it's $30, $50, $100, $150, $200, whatever price you got. If all you have is a $20 bill, I got you.
Yeah.
So there's no point in messing with companies doing bad products.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did a review on Bluetooth. I'm looking at my channel here 3 years ago.
Yeah,
3 years
that's
ago.
when they were hot.
Yeah, and it was the Bluetooth T4.
Yeah.
Honest opinion, what'd you think of those ones?
Well, at the time, I loved them. So because at the time for what they were charging for those, and what they gave you volume-wise, bass-wise, the build quality of it, that was their last of their good headphones. Up until that was the peak of their headphones. Yeah. So after that, everything declined. So, but I liked them. Like, I genuinely liked them. Right now, I just dumped so many headphones and products over the last 2 days. And the T4 were the only one of theirs that I kept, because it's sort of like sentimental value in a sense, but it was almost like a benchmark set for me at that time. So I'll still put them on to listen to them and just remind myself, like, this was okay then, but it's not okay now, because what $40 got you then, okay, cool, but what $40 can get you now blows them out of the water.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, when I got those, I was definitely shopping around, and it was actually, well, I was looking for a good cheap budget headset to go on our honeymoon. Me and the wife flew from Cali all the way to Fiji, and that's like a 14-hour
man.
flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I want something to cover these big old ears, and I hate the ones that push your ears in,
Yeah.
and then when they come off, they hurt. It's like, oh man. And then the other headsets that I can't stand are the ones that just sit there with the little stick down there.
Yeah, no. Don't do that.
Don't fly right out. Like if it's going to be in here, it's got to go around the ear so that way it feels somewhat secure.
Yeah.
But I remember when I did get those, I did try the very next ones that came out, because I was again, I was a fan, and I was like, hey, these ones are actually really, really good for $40. I'm like, that's nothing. So when the next ones came out, I returned them within a couple days. I'm
Yeah.
like it was garbage, and and they were more expensive too. I think they were like $70, $80,
Yeah.
something like that. I'm just like, nope, send them right back. And then I'm like, let me look for something else instead. And I forgot what else. Well, I ended up with something else, but
Yeah.
yeah, those were the only sets that I got from Bludio though.
Yeah, they went downhill. They went downhill mighty fast, man. And it was just the only thing that we could think of. Like, I was talking to Antoine, my buddy Antoine, just doing life, and who else was doing them at the time? Travis, and we were thinking about it. We're like, man, somebody must have like bought this company, like management wise, and just went left. Like, they were like, to hell with quality. We built this name. Now we're going to sell crap essentially and cash in, because that's what it seemed like. So yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But now we've got better stuff out here. So
Yeah. So I got to ask you this. So we've had not the exact same experience, but a similar experience. So and I know we're going to get a viewer that's going to say, like, you guys always talk trash on this. But the thing is that this is my go-to device every single day. I use it on my 4K TV. It's my go-to. And people tell me, like, well, you don't even own one. It's like, no, I actually own a couple of them. So, but your honest opinion, if you were to buy, so the device that I'm talking about, it's called the NVIDIA Shield.
Mhm.
Are you familiar with it?
I never owned one, but I know what it is.
Okay, so imagine in 2015, an NVIDIA Shield comes out. It has 500 gigs of memory, and it has this chipset and everything. And NVIDIA has their own gaming graphics card. They have their own stuff. 2 years later, in 2017, they're like, hey, we're not going to give you 500 gigs. We're going to give you 16 gigs. We're going to change the remote a little bit. Everything else in the box stays the same. Now, 2019 comes around, and they're like, we're going to change the remote again, and we're going to do software updates, but that's it. And we're going to call it the new. Just knowing that, and the price is not dropping. The price stays the same, and sometimes it's gone up a little bit. Just knowing that, like, mentally, like, how does that make you feel? Like, what are you processing when you hear it's been the same device after device after device? We just changed the remote and said the new Shield. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I would have definitely let people know, like, here's what it is, because there's going to be people who are fresh to it, like completely fresh to this device. So to them, it's going to be like the greatest thing ever. But so it's up to us who've used multiple going back years to kind of let them know, like, give them the context. Like, yo, like, while it'll get the job done, they're actually not giving you anything new. There's nothing new. This could even, I'm not that familiar with it, but it could even be the case where, hey, why don't you save a few bucks and buy the old one? You know what I mean? So you never know. It's one of those things. But yeah, I know what you mean, because I would have had to let people hear about that too. Because I'm like, well, what are you guys doing? It's up to us to kind of hold them accountable for that stuff.
I
That
did
whole
do,
situation was funny because they labeled the new processor in it as the Tegra X1 Plus, and then when they were shipped out of the box and you actually ran software to pull up the information on it, it came up as a regular Tegra X1, not the Plus.
Oh
So
man.
then when Rojas called them, he was talking to them on the phone, and they're like, "Yeah, we just took the 2017s, did a software overclock, and then resold them." And we were like,
Come on.
"Whoa!"
like, why would you say that? And
Right?
I even told them, I'm like, I'm a YouTuber. I have over 100,000 subs. I review your guys' products. I have a question.
Yeah.
That's
Like
how they answered.
what?
And I'm just like, so I did a video on it, and I had to do a reenactment because I was on the phone, and I'm like, oh, how am I going to record this? And I'm just like, you know what? Let me just do a reenactment of this. So I did a video on it, and I explained it, and I went inside the box. I showed the specs. It's like, and then I told everybody, look, this is how you can find out, because the box says Tegra X Plus, it has the X1 Plus on it. But when you look at the actual device, when you put the app in there, it does not have that plus sign. And if you put the other device, they made this brand new one. It's like a stick version of it. When you put the app in that, it does show the plus.
Mm.
So I'm like, wait a minute. The brand spanking new that they just built does have the overclock chipset. These old ones, they're grabbing the old chipsets or not even the old chipsets. They're just grabbing like stuff
The
off the
whole
shelf,
old device.
Yeah.
the old device, and they're just like, hey, here, just software updates. And I'm like, okay, you can overclock. I get it. Definitely can overclock it, but when you overclock something, that doesn't mean it's going to make it better. And it actually performs the worst out of the three.
Oh Jesus.
But they are classified as the best devices on the market, irregardless if it clocks worse than the previous generation or not.
Yeah.
They're not bad devices, but as the consumer, we feel like we're being lied to a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as bad as the deterioration of the Bluetooth products we were talking about earlier, but I mean, still, you kind of want to be given all the right information. I know for myself, as well as we tell a lot of our viewers, if we're going to be grabbing the NVIDIA Shield, try to grab the 2015. And it sounds weird in 2020 telling a consumer to go buy a product from 2015.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's how it would go too for a lot of people. And that's not even only that. I remember my brother's in the music game and stuff, and he DJs. And I remember when a lot of them use MacBooks. And when they would keep doing these OS upgrades to the MacBooks, it would bork all the music programs because the music programs would then have to catch up. But the problem with that is if they upgraded or if they had auto updates, it would be a major problem because then they couldn't do their job. They couldn't get paid because they couldn't DJ because their damn laptop was busted. So similar thing where I remember when he was looking for a newer one, all of his homies he was like, oh yeah, should I get the 2014, 2015? They're like, no, get the 2012. And then just upgrade your memory, upgrade to an SSD, like do all this stuff. So like it was a thing, like to make sure, and then like never have auto updates, like to the point where like don't even set up an Apple ID. Like it was like it's crazy the level of making sure it could never auto update. So it was pretty wild, but it's the same kind of thing where you're having to tell people, nah, don't buy this new one, buy the older one.
Yeah.
Because it's a real thing, man. It's pretty wild. Where you think a company's going to give you something better with a newer, and newer doesn't necessarily mean better every time. So yeah, it's kind of wild, man. I know the last one I think that was kind of similar to that was the Galaxy, the Galaxy Buds Live, the Beans. So they brought those out. Everybody's like, oh yeah, active noise cancellation, this whole thing, yada yada yada. And dude, to be honest, the previous ones, they're better. Like to me, they're absolutely better. And so I had to say it, like when I made my video of comparing the two, I'm like, buy the older ones. You're going to save yourself not only $30, $40, $50, but you're going to get a better experience. So
Right.
What are we doing here? And so newer isn't always necessarily better. They might look cool, and for some people they will be cool, but yeah, you have to kind of be careful with that because sometimes they'll just upgrade things to upgrade them, but it's not really helping the consumer at all. And to be fair, they're in the money making business, so they got to do what they got to do. But it's kind of where we have to be that line and try to help out the regular people.
Mhm.
And that's just it. We're not just product reviewers. We're consumers and people too.
Yeah.
So we have our own perspectives. It kind of leads me to a question I wanted to ask you. Like,
Sure.
is there a product, let's say a headphone, that you keep going back to, that you've owned, or is it like the ones that you're wearing right now? Are those your favorite headphones? Like, is there a headphone that's lasted you throughout your, I guess, audiophile career that has always struck you as your number one or your homie?
Not necessarily. I mean, the ones I'm wearing now are my actual like wired favorite headphones. They're the Sennheiser HD6XX. I got them. What was it? Early. What was it? I think it was early 2020. Could have been. No. Sorry. I got them late 2019, like around October, November. From Mass Drop, or now they're Drop. But I've had them since then, and I keep them as a reference set. They're awesome. I just changed the pads on them because the pads wear out. But it's something that I'm gonna have for years. They're fully serviceable. If anything goes bad, I can buy whatever parts I need. So for now, they're the ones that I've had the longest that I use on a daily basis. But beyond that, I mean, these would be it. And for the longest time, I didn't even like Sennheiser sound signature. But for editing videos, I'll use these because it's such a clean sound. For podcasts, for like even my work all day long, I'm using this microphone. I'm using these headphones because I'm doing like Zoom calls all day. So I'll use these because they're the most comfortable. So just overall, for everything I need them to do, they're doing the job. It's the only issue that comes up is if I'm moving around the house or going out or anything like that, then I have other stuff, like other wireless stuff that I'm testing or whatever. But these have stuck around by far the longest, I would say.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
So we are at towards the end of the show now. This is we normally like to ask whoever our guest is, if there's anything that you want to tell the tech community, the audio community, anybody that's out there watching. If there's anything that you want to tell them, this is your time. Go ahead.
Oh, man. I mean, anything that people want to know is just, especially if it's creators that are out there just kind of getting started or trying to figure things out. Don't try to cheat the hustle. You need to embrace what it is and enjoy the journey, because it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy 99% of the time. There's always that one case that blows up with like one video. Cool. Happy for them. Don't look for that. Put in the work and just grind it out. Find something that you love to do, because that's what's going to get you through the rough time. And really plan it out, like research. A lot of people will just jump into this and not do any research and then can't figure out why it's not working for them. Well, it's because you didn't study up on what it takes to be successful. And everything's out there. All the tools are out there. All the experts are out there. All the coaches are out there. You got all the different educators are out there. You can literally learn how to do YouTube on YouTube. So, sure. It's all the information's there if you want to look for it. A lot of people just aren't willing to do it. So, they just got to get out there and grind it out, find the information that they need, and don't be afraid to ask questions. So that's why I try to make myself accessible. If people have actual questions, not how can I blow up overnight? If they want to ask me like how to be consistent and how do I improve this or that, it's all good. I try to keep my DMs open on Twitter for that kind of stuff, for creators and stuff especially. So,
Eljefe, I really wanted to say thank you for coming over and kicking it with us. I know we've never really had a conversation before, but I can tell you're super humble. Just like you say, you leave your DMs open. People can reach out to you. We've never had a conversation. I reached out and said, hey, you want to do a podcast with me? And you're like, sure, I'm always down for a podcast. Yeah. And I respect how humble you are and just giving us the opportunity to share your experiences with us. So thank you on behalf of the Beyond the Stream show and Rohas and myself and all of our viewers, listeners, subscribers, all that kind of good stuff. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No, man. Thanks for having me on, man. It's a good convo, and I always appreciate a good podcast because it gives you a little bit of time. You can get to know people a little bit better, and you can expand on answers and topics and stuff. So yeah, I definitely appreciate it, man.
So does that mean that maybe in the future we can pick a topic and have another podcast with you on here?
Yeah, for sure, man. Always.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely do another one, and it'll be cool to catch up later on. maybe after the holidays, the holidays are going to be crazy this year.
Yeah.
Those with the whole COVID, and it's just a disaster out there right now. But
Yeah. Yeah.
real quick, where can they find you if they are looking for you?
So YouTube, it's going to be, El Jefe Reviews. That's spelled ELJEFE Reviews. Same thing for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All of them at El Jefe Reviews. Twitter's going to be the best place to reach me. That's where I'm at 100%. Everybody has their platform that they like to pick. For me, it's Twitter. It's much more accessible for everybody, and it's just simpler that way. So, yeah.
Awesome. So for anybody out there that's listening or watching, depending on the platform that you're on, either the podcast or the YouTube channel, make sure you guys do check the description below. We will have links to his channel, and that way you guys can go make sure you guys subscribe to him, check him out. He's got a lot of information out there, very thorough, and you guys will for definitely sure learn something from his channel. So with all that being said, again, we'd like to thank you for coming here, and it was our honor to talk to you and really get to know each other. So one of the last things we tell everybody here is you guys take care, and you guys take care of each other.
Stay humble and be patient. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Out.